It's the I Can't Mom Today podcast with Heather, the new mom, and Vera, the seasoned mom. I Can't Mom Today.
Hey, this is Vera and Heather back again with another episode of I Can't Mom Today podcast. Hi, Vera.
Hello, Heather. How you doing?
Man, struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to run downstairs and get some coffee real quick.
Catch your breath. We're not in any hurry.
So I started doing half calf coffee because, PCOS, caffeine's not good for some forms of it. And so I'm on day 2. Yesterday was pretty good. I think I still had some caffeine from the previous day. So it's day 2. And
it was still in your system. Did you see that Kale on Teen Mom 2 was diagnosed with PCOS now?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. I'm like, I know a few people who struggle with that.
Macy also does. I don't know if you've seen Teen Mom OG.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't watch OG. I really need to.
And she's like a toothpick. She's so tiny.
And she has PCOS?
Mm-hmm. Yep. She does PCOS Awareness. She does a lot of stuff for it. Mm-hmm.
Well, see, a girlfriend of mine does too. But she, her weight has fluctuated over the years. Mm-hmm. But I remember when she was first diagnosed, her doctor was like, well, I'm surprised that you're not more overweight. And she was like, thanks.
Yeah.
She's never really been very big, but, she just, she fluctuates a little bit here and there like a lot of us do,
That's how I was when I was first diagnosed. I was first diagnosed over 10, probably 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. And Becky, who used to do our laser hair removal, she's like, really? I was like, that's what they tell me.
Yeah. Well, and my other friend too, they said, oh, you're going to have trouble having children, whatever. And she didn't have any trouble.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's so different in so many people. It is just very different, but I wish there was more that was out there when I first got diagnosed, or I wish that I wasn't really told a lot about it. And I wasn't really, and I wasn't a very good advocate for myself because, we didn't have the internet like we do now.
Yeah.
And up until, it really hasn't been a problem up until about right before I got pregnant with Baker. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, good for you though. I mean, Jerry had to give up caffeine because of his prostate, because it's not good. It makes his prostate blow up. And he had that issue where he couldn't pee.
Yeah, without the bag or whatever.
Bury the bag, bury the catheter bag that he had to wear for 3 weeks. So obviously that'll scare you enough to give up caffeine. So he switched to all decaf. Although I swear it's been a couple of months and he's still a little more spacey. He's kind of like in the morning, I don't know. Whereas I'm on steroids and caffeine, so I'm like ping, 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 ping.
Yeah, I'll eventually give it up, but I just can't give up my delicious coffee drinks in the morning because I really do. I'm on Starbucks level essentially. I use coconut milk and
well, you could do the decaf eventually. Yeah.
Well, but I gotta
enjoys
step down.
Decaf. Yeah. Well, that's even when I was pregnant. I did half when I was pregnant.
I did too. And I originally, because I use Nespresso, just because that was a treat to myself a couple of years ago, and I didn't realize how expensive it was when I first bought it. So note to self, I drink a lot of coffee, a lot of expensive coffee, but maybe one day I'll go down to 1. But I bought decaf coffee because Brad drinks decaf coffee sometimes, drinks coffee at night. Sometimes I'm like, you really need to drink decaf, babe. You've got it. I bought that for him, and I was going to do 1 regular strength and 1 decaf, which I used to do when I had a Keurig. But then I was like, oh, they have half calf. I'll just do 2 half calves because I didn't want just different flavors because coffee is different. It does taste different.
Yes. So, yes. For sure. No, I used to be a coffeeholic, so I had to give up coffee because of my RA.
Even decaf?
Yep. Even decaf. There's something about it. There's an acidity to it. And now I can tell. So I just drink tea, although I drink caffeinated tea, but I can tell. And yeah, we'll just leave it there without giving you TMI about the coffee. But yeah, it cleans you out. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, but I was going to say, I went on vacation recently and went to Cape Cod, ate lots of lobsters and steamers, which was absolutely amazing. But it was also the first time I've flown since COVID. Yeah. And it was interesting. I mean, you've flown,
Mhm.
and of course, they're requiring masks and all that stuff. So that was different. But it was interesting to me because I really felt like, even though I hate to fly, I really hate to fly. I never fly unmedicated. Like, I take a little teeny tiny lorazepam and have a glass of wine and fall
Oh.
asleep. It's
Mm-mm.
perfect. But I get anxious partly because I'm a control freak, and also because I do have a fear of flying when there's turbulence. There's no turbulence, I'm good. But you can't predict if there's going to be turbulence or not.
Mhm.
So I have to fly medicated. Otherwise, if there's turbulence, I burst out into tears and sometimes scream. So you don't want to be on the plane with me unmedicated
Oh.
for Jerry's sake, partly. So anyway, there's always issues when you fly. Like this time it was, for some reason, Jerry got booked under my name instead of under his last name. So we had to flip back and forth in the airport between security and the other. Luckily, we got there early enough. Just little things like that. But everybody was friendly, at least. Sometimes when you have problems flying and it's like, well, you got to do that. You're screwed. Everybody was friendly and helpful, even though it was a little bit of a cluster. I didn't feel myself getting really upset like in the past, where I would have been like, why are you being a bitch to me when this is not my fault and I'm here and I did everything I was supposed to do? How come you people haven't done what you're supposed to do? That wasn't the attitude that I got. So that part was nice. And I just got a general sense, and I don't know if you felt this when you've flown since the pandemic, but that everybody was just kind of like trying to stay calm, trying to be nice to each other. Like, I didn't feel the usual, like, no, you did. It was, it was still the usual.
It was just people not being courteous to other people, like just being like, listen, who wants to wear a mask? Who's like, sign me up. I would love to be restricted in breathing. Nobody, but like, that's what you have to do. Like, just like deal with it. It's not, nobody's like making you, wear a thorn of crown or, crown of thorns.
Crown of thorns.
Like it's a mask.
Yeah.
Like, unless there's a medical reason why you can't wear it, then what, like, what's the point in being like, like this mask is as useless as Joe Biden, or like, just people were just so gross about the mask thing. I'm like, then don't fly.
Wow.
Don't bring your negative shit in here. Drive them.
Maybe it was that you were flying. Well, you flew from Denver to Panama City, and then you've also flown from Denver to Tallahassee, right? So I flew from Jacksonville, Florida to Boston.
Yeah, it was definitely my Texas to Tallahassee flight.
Texas. See, that would kind of make sense. Maybe. Yeah.
The guys from Tallahassee. So
a cute story, though, I will tell you, of someone being really nice, which I was shocked by, was Jerry, Mr. Magoo. I love him. So we're walking through the airport after waiting in this ginormous line with one of the little cluster F issues that we had to deal with. But luckily we were still on time and not super stressed, but still just trying to get through security. So headed towards security and have checked our bags. And all of a sudden I'm starting to hear coins falling. Like pennies from heaven, like ding, 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 ding. I'm like, Jerry, where are they coming from? So apparently Jerry had a hole in his pocket. Exactly. Like, what in the hell is going on? And I realized they're falling out of his pants, coins, and they're all over the place. And, it's an airport. So it's that terrazzo or whatever floor. So they're rolling and everything. Well, like, I'm thinking to myself, what do I do? Do I stop? They're just coins. Do I stop and pick them up? And I figured, okay, well, there were some quarters in there. So we're picking them up. And sure enough, this one guy passing by picks a couple up, hands them to us, just keeps walking. And then this other girl who was just standing and looked like she was waiting for somebody standing nearby came and picked up a couple and handed them to us. I mean, she didn't have to do that. Like, neither of them had to do that. They could have just looked at us and been like, and it's freaking coin. I'm not going to pick that up for you, and it's a pandemic. Like, and you're touching the floor, like gross. Like, that's part of the reason I was debating whether to pick them up. And so after we picked them all up and the girl was still standing there, the guy was already long gone. I had hand sanitizer and I gave Jerry some, gave myself some. And I walked over to her. I was like, do you want some hand sanitizer after you were just touching the floor for us? And she was like, oh yeah, sure. Thanks. It was just, it was such a nice exchange. It was very civil and it was thoughtful. And I was like, there are good people in the world. There really are.
I
Maybe
wish
I'm
my
too
experiences were like that. They were definitely not.
Oh, that's such a
I know.
shame.
I know. And like,
especially, you know,
and I'm the like advocator for everybody. Like I will burn cities down to advocate for somebody because I hate seeing somebody disenfranchised in any way. And so like there was one lady on my plane, I think I want to say I touched on it, but I don't know, on the podcast that she had open heart surgery like 5 weeks before. She was all the way back in 30 in the cheap seats. And so I asked one of the flight attendants, because I saw her moving people up to the front. I was like, hey, if you can get this lady up to the front or let her get off the plane first, that would be, we don't do that anymore. And so another lady was like, another one of the flight attendants was saying something, you know, like looking for other things. I was like, ma'am, I was like, would you mind moving her front? She's just had open heart surgery. You know, when she gets off the plane, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so she's like, yeah. And so she took care of it. She's like, you too. She's like, and I was like, oh no, I don't need to go. I'm not with her. She's, you know, she's by herself. And so I'm just advocating for it. And she's like, ma'am, you should really start learning to advocate for yourself. I'm like, she doesn't fly often. Shut your face. And then she gets off the airplane and she just doesn't know these things. And so you think that if somebody has a medical thing, you would call ahead to the gate and say, hey, we're going to need a wheelchair. This lady, you know, can't walk that far. She gets winded. And so by the time I got off, she's standing in the tunnel, you know, coming or whatever, the air bridge
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And and she's standing there. Some lady's helping her. I was like, do you need help? And she's like, yes, we need a wheelchair. And I was like, okay. And so I went out to the gate agent. I was like, hey, this lady is needs a wheelchair. She is going to pass out. I was like, you need to help her. And the guy's like, we're waiting for somebody. And so I was like, I go, if something happens, that's on you now. And so I walk and I start like, and I see a wheelchair and I run back, like I'm running back to the thing. I was like, here's a wheelchair. Please go help her. And the guy's like, we have to wait for blah, blah, blah. I'm like, are you serious? And I'm just like yelling. And I was like, this is on you. How dare you? I was just like losing. I was like, and he started talking about, I was like, so I don't have time for you now. Like, how dare you? Like, I brought you what you needed. This lady needs help.
Yep.
And I was so pissed. I was like, she is going to be on the floor.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. And I should have stayed around to check.
What airlines did you fly?
Oh God, all of them. It was not Southwest, but it was, but I did Southwest, United, American. I think those are the three that I did. And I don't know which one, United, I don't know which one of them it was, but I know it wasn't Southwest, but I was pissed.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
I was like, how would you, like, what?
Like,
and why would you even let her off the plane if that wheelchair access wasn't available at that time, or like they weren't waiting for her. Like, I just feel like people don't use their brain sometimes.
No, very true.
Yeah. So that's been my experience on these things. And like, I'll be like, hey, do you want some, like, I carry, you know, sanitizing wipes, because I'm sanitizing everything on the plane. And I've been like, hey, do you want some sanitizing wipes to the person next to me or in that row? And they look at me like I'm trying to give them like cocaine. Like, here, do you want some? They're like, oh, I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Got it.
Just trying to be helpful. See, we flew JetBlue, and I've never flown Southwest. I hear Southwest is nice, but every time I've flown JetBlue, I've had a good experience.
I've never flown JetBlue, so we're opposites.
Yeah. See, I like that they have more leg room, and I found that the flight attendants are more helpful than
totally. Southwest is like that. Yeah. My brother-in-law works for them, and that's not why I would endorse them, but like, they're truly amazing.
Yeah. See, that's what I've heard, but I haven't had the opportunity to fly them. United's probably the worst one I've ever flown. But yeah, but I've had some good and bad experiences with Delta. Well, Spirit's pretty bad though. Oh. Actually, no, Spirit's the worst one.
Frontier and Spirit, they're owned by the same parent company.
Ah, there you go. Yeah. Well, and they're the cheapest.
Yep.
So you get what you pay for.
I reviewed Frontier one time because they charge you for everything, right? And so my review was, I was fearful that I was going to be charged to use the bathroom. That's how much you nickel and dime your passengers.
Oh yeah, because it'll be like, oh yeah, this ticket's $150, but by the way,
you want to sit down? Oh,
no, you have to stand the whole time. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Or yeah, for sure.
But then other airlines have fallen in line with that.
Oh yeah, no, most of them. I mean, even JetBlue, they charge just for our bags, and So you got to keep in mind that even though you're only paying blah for the tickets, it's still another.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And God forbid you go over 50 pounds. So there I am, like weighing my suitcase, like, oh crap. Oh crap.
Mhm.
Please be okay. Please be okay. I was like, yes, 47 pounds, baby.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've been in that airport trying to like digging things out and like carrying like bag loads on the plane, like just like it's okay.
Yes. Well,
Everything's
so,
gonna be fine.
I was going to say, we went up to Cape Cod, which was amazing. And one of the things, we stayed with our friends. So that saved us the hotel
Mhm.
cost. But one of the things we were going to do is drive up to, if you've ever been to Cape Cod, there's a place called Provincetown that's all the way in the very end of it,
Mhm.
And
No, I don't know because I have never been
okay.
there.
Well, it's beautiful and it's really cool. They call it kind of like the Key West of the North. So it's really quaint and, a lot of funky people and things going on. And it's beautiful, of course, because it's right there on the water. Well, we were going to go spend a day or a night up there. And apparently there was a big COVID outbreak. So everybody was like, "Phew, not going to Provincetown." Like literally, it was kind of funny because I forgot how my friend figured it out. There was some kind of app where like you can see the traffic and the traffic would stop like a certain amount before Provincetown, where tourists stopped going up there and everything.
Mm.
Because they had something like 800 cases in a matter of like 2 weeks, and Provincetown's very small. So, I mean, I don't know what the population is, but it's a pretty high percentage, enough to where the tourists and everybody stay away from Provincetown. And then, of course, we get back to Florida, and Florida is, as of right now, I think we have the third most cases in the country behind California and Texas.
Yeah, but you're smaller, first of all. And secondly, you had the highest one day rate though, right? It was like 36,000 people. Like,
yeah. Well, with the new Delta
and I
variant
laugh like
and everything.
uncomfortably. It's an
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Oh no. Yeah, that's an ironic laugh. That's
Yeah.
not it's funny laugh. No. I get it, but in case somebody's listening.
Mhm.
Yeah. So my mother texts me last night and is like, "Are you still taking prednisone for your RA?" And I said, "Yeah." Well, I just read that or heard that, people who are taking prednisone for RA need to be extra careful with the Delta variant and blah, blah, blah. So make sure you wear a mask and blah, blah, blah. Ugh, okay. I mean, I get it. She's worried and I appreciate that.
Mhm.
But I tried to look up. I was like, okay, prednisone and the Delta variant. Didn't find anything. So again, this may be
scoop.
Yeah, she heard this because that's what all this stuff is getting passed around from friend to friend through Facebook, through social media, through, gossip, through overhearing. I just need, I would think my rheumatologist, knowing I'm on prednisone, would send out an alert to all of his patients that are taking prednisone for RA, say, hey, you're particularly sensitive to the Delta variant, watch out. So I'm kind of the attitude, yeah, I'm not going to go to anything too crazy in the immediate future, and I am vaccinated, but the Delta variant does scare me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think you can quote me on this because I did see it on one of the news channels and it was on the little ticker at the bottom. I can't remember which news channel it was, but as of like 2 days ago, 0.001% of people that's of death of people with the vaccine, 0.001%.
Too.
Okay. And then 0.004% in hospitalizations of people with the vaccine. So that gives me a little bit of comfort. Doesn't mean I can't get COVID again. Again, I haven't had it as far as I know, knock on wood, but still it's a little creepy. And then I think of people like you who has a 3-year-old and he can't get vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know if I would get him vaccinated either.
Oh, really? Because you're not sure about him because of him being little?
Yeah. Well, as an adult, I'm completely confident in a vaccine in my body because, with the mRNA, just I don't know a lot about the mRNA in children and their bodies are changing so much that I'm just hesitant about. And maybe all his vaccines right now are mRNA. I have no idea. I just give it to them because that's what we need to do to, make sure that smallpox doesn't come up again. That make sure all these things don't become issues don't become issues anymore. So like, I think they stopped giving polio vaccines.
Oh,
because
really?
it was, but because I think we did eradicate it, but I think now there might be more like, anyways,
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that too.
Yeah.
But I said, I think so. My brain's not always on point, but yeah, but I give them these vaccines because I am confident in that over the years and decades and everything else, it's safe. Like it's safe for the majority. And yes, is everything going to be safe overall? 100%? No, but you know what? Life isn't safe. And,
True.
What was I was talking to my friend the other day, and anyways, there's this thing that they're going through with one of their sons, and it's like this one option can be 50%, yes, it'll help it, or 50% it won't do anything. And so her husband and her son are like convinced, like, oh, that's not good enough odds. I was like, but like, think about like the odds of having a baby, and like you roll the dice there.
Yeah.
It's just like when you're talking about percentages, I mean, if there's a 5% chance that I don't have to go through major surgery, or I could try this alternative thing, I'm going to try the alternative thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
obviously not with vaccines. If it's like 5%, this vaccine is only 5% effective. Like, obviously that's not going to work for me.
no.
Like, I'm talking about alternative things. Like, if I don't have to take medicine, I'm going to try this alternative thing, before I try to take medicine. Life's about percentages. I guess you have to weigh what you want it to be.
Well, a girlfriend, I got to see some old friends while I was up in Cape Cod, and it was so amazing. I haven't gotten to see them in like 25 years or something crazy like that. And we were friends since second grade. And of course, we've kept up with each other on Facebook, but we all live far away from each other. And well, actually 3 friends. And two of them have children, and one has her son has this was basically born with half a heart. And so he's had a lot of major heart surgeries. And I kudos to her for being so strong to be able to be a mom for that. Like, holy cow. And he's in his teens. So he's high risk, obviously, for coronavirus or COVID. And then the other friend has a child who has diabetes, type 1 diabetes. So that gives you a comorbidity. And then there's also one child who's still under 12, so she can't get the vaccine. So everybody in the family got vaccinated except for the 11-year-old. But that's still scary. And what my friend was talking about was like, before all the vaccines were coming out and people were saying, I refuse to wear a mask and I refuse to do this and I refuse to do that. She said, I kind of took it personally, because here's my child who's at high risk. Mm-hmm. And, by you doing what you do, that means that we're all locked in our houses because you're running around not wearing a mask. Yeah.
I think it has to do with like how we've just politicized everything, like, oh, you walked across the street. Well, that's wrong because you're on the right and I'm on the left. It's just, everything is politicized. And like, so instead of people seeing, oh, it's going to help somebody, it could potentially save somebody else. They see that it is, you're disenfranchising me. You're telling me what to do. And that's not okay. Like, I have civil liberties. And it's just like, if you thought about somebody other than yourself, then you would see that there are kids out there that are immune compromised, adults out there that are immune compromised, that can't do anything. Well, then they should stay inside. Okay, perfect. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Thanks.
So
and
you just can't.
My rights away. Yeah.
You
so
can't.
Now I have to be locked in my house for the next year and a half and not be able to go anywhere because you refuse to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I agree with you when she put it that way. And I was like, and just seeing when she said it, like how the hurt that, how personally she took it, and the pain in her voice when she was saying that, I just like really even thinking about like, I'm getting a little choked up because it is like, I could imagine that's the way I would feel too. Like, well, what the hell? Don't you, if it was your son, wouldn't you care if other people were like,
Yeah.
It doesn't,
And what sucks is they are not thinking about her or her children. They aren't. They're thinking about their liberties and their rights and, how dare it? And like slippery slope to, government to everything. And I'm just like, Jesus.
Yeah.
If it was just our government doing it, maybe. But there's other
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if it was just the United States saying, no, you have to wear masks. No, you have to, then I would be like, wait.
Yeah. How
But when
come
you
the rest
see
of the
all
world
these,
isn't doing this? Yeah.
when you're seeing other countries getting on board and doing this, I mean, you have to go, huh? Okay. So
Wait a minute.
maybe it's not just, maybe our government's not just
Yeah.
trying to take over our brains or whatever.
Exactly. Brainwash us.
Yeah.
Well, I just, like I said, I was wondering about you and thinking about, Baker and all that and how, but I think if I had a 3-year-old, I would question it too. I would debate, what should I do back and forth. But again, there is that thing that they're saying that children aren't necessarily super spreaders, which is surprising.
Yeah. Because they spread everything else.
I know. I mean, they're little petri dishes. They're little goobery little boogers. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the schools, and are they going to start telling the kids to wear masks to school again, and how that's. I mean, Luke, he's getting ready to move. He's vaccinated though, thank goodness. But he's getting ready to move into a dorm and go to college. So there's a part of me that's like, I don't know. He's been vaccinated, so but the percentages that I just gave out earlier, I guess it's okay. And this is important. He really needs to get the F out of the house, honestly. He needs to get out of my house.
Do you remember being like, oh, I don't want him to leave?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah. Now it's like, get out of my house. I just told him yesterday, I was like, okay, you got to start clearing out the man cave because it's not going to be yours anymore in a few weeks. Get all your crap out of there. Move it in you can still have your bedroom, but get it out of the man cave because we're reclaiming the man cave.
And when are you gonna kick him out of his bedroom?
I'm gonna wait until he's done with kind of what my parents did. Wait till after college. So I'll let him keep his bedroom during college, but then once he gets like his first big boy apartment or whatever, I'll be like, all right, you're out. Peace out. So yeah, but it's so we'll see how it goes with the dorm and all that, but he really needs, I mean, honestly, for his mental health, I think, he's, when he was talking about taking a gap year this year, and I was like, you already took a gap year. This is basically, you've been doing virtual school and basically lying around in your boxers, kind of, sort of doing your classes. That's not school. Sorry. Dude.
Yeah. Is he going to TCC or FSU?
TCC. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way he would have gotten in. And that's not just because his grades weren't fantastic. He had like a 3.2 or something when he graduated, but it's, the average applicant at FSU has a 4.1. That's just
I had to go to summer school to get in, and I had a 3.4.
Yeah. No, they had 2 years ago, they had 60,000 applicants for 6,000 spaces.
Jeez Louise.
So you can do the math on that one. So 10%. You can imagine what that's what you're competing with. So yeah, if you have less than a 4.0, it's kind of like, unless your SAT scores are off the chart, then extracurriculars don't even really matter unless you can get to that. Then maybe some of them will help you out, but yeah.
That's insanity.
Anyways, it is, man. So anyway, but I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, I think I'm concerned with the Delta variant because it is so highly contagious and affecting people at a younger age. And I think that's part of the thing is it's like the younger these variants get, like if it starts affecting children at a more advanced rate, then I will probably pull the trigger and get the shot.
Yeah.
If it's available, right? I don't even know what the age range is. I think right now 6 to 12. No, I think there's.
Oh, you mean the range? Oh, yeah. I see what the next range they're going to go to.
Yeah, I think they've already opened it, haven't they? Or no?
I don't know.
I think under 12 has opened, but it's like 6 to 12 or something. Or
yeah. I'm pretty sure at the very least I know Baker's age is not acceptable yet. Yeah.
So I don't know if it starts affecting, and I was looking up some stats because I got in a debate with a friend the other day about, he was like, it's segregation with requiring people to show their documentation. I was like, it's not segregation. I don't know that I don't know if I agree with the, I can't even, what the heck am I saying? What? No, with government. Okay. I don't know that I believe in, I was thinking political, but I don't know if I believe in government saying you can't go inside buildings, because shouldn't that be on the buildings owners to decide? I do think that if buildings or companies don't want people to come in without a mask or without being vaccinated, I think that the government should support them in that.
Yes, no, I think that should be the choice of the business for sure.
Yeah, I don't think the government, I don't think government should be stepping in to say, oh, you have to require these things. You have to have these things. Cause like now you're putting the onus back on you're putting the business owner in an awkward position,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think it's segregation. I think they're trying to do the best they can do with what they have, because we haven't gone through this in modern times. So, what I would hate to be a politician. I would hate to be in government in any way, shape, or form right now.
Oh, right now?
Yeah. Ever really, but like right now.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. Yeah. I feel you.
Because there's no winning. There's no winning, no matter what you do. So I think they're just trying to do the best they can. I don't think they're trying to strip your civil liberties. And there may be some people out there, sure. But I think as a whole, they're just trying to keep our population healthy. Safe. Yeah. I mean, looking at just the numbers, in a little over a year, COVID has taken as many people as the top killers, which is cancer and heart disease. The next one under that's 150,000 per year or something. So in just 1 year, and just being introduced, it's taken as much as the top two killers. So like, that's why people are taking this seriously. Like, not because they're like,
well, hello, one of my dearest friends and my sister-in-law gone. So, and neither of them had comorbidities. So there you go. So we'll just pray that everybody stays safe and healthy, and we'll just do the best we can.
Yep. And just just respect people too. Like, if you don't agree with them not having a shot, then just be like, okay, cool. It's your decision.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have a few friends who haven't gotten vaccinated, and I'm like, okay, well, that's up to you. So I'll let you, and they have their reasons, and that's your decision. Yeah. So that's totally up to you, But anyways, so I'm glad we got to talk about that. And I'm glad I got to tell my fun coin story.
I know. And if you have some good traveling stories, let me know. Cause it was just some bad incidences, but it's just those rotten people that and I'm the defender of rotten people. I'm like,
there you go. Da, 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 Super Heather.
Not really. I mean, I could be that person sometimes too, but I really try to be that person for anybody's. But tell us your fun stories. Tell us your good stories and like restoring humanity and
absolutely. I Can't Mom Today podcast at gmail.com, the Facebook group I Can't Mom Today, of course, Instagram and Twitter. We're all over the place. And hopefully you'll enjoyed the podcast and you'll rate us really good.
Yes. If not, give us your feedback. Happy to receive the feedback and change it if we feel it is what fits in our scope.
Exactly.
And also have a good day.
Yes. Till next time.
Bye.
Stay safe and healthy.
Yeah.